I'm not gonna lie, I full on expected a filler patch for 1.5. Chinese New Year is going to be happening soon. We just got off the heels of 1.4, the game's full on reset. I thought this would be the time to kind of dial it back and chill for a little bit, but honestly, they just kept on delivering. I think my expectations were so low that I was surprised by this in 1.5's content. So first things first, the story content. I like how we actually started off with 2 narrative designers you see on screen here. That was like the very first part of the live stream. Now I have to say, in regards to the story, I was actually just expecting some kind of follow-up after chapter 5, or maybe just some completely random thing with Astra Yao and what it's like to be in her shoes, possibly. But we're getting, I guess, something like that, possibly, but more so it's about the concert. There's also a couple characters in here that we haven't even seen, at least one new character, and there's Hugo Vlad, who we've seen in the Von Lightcone story quest at the end. So there's also the whole Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Chinese New Year kind of situation going. And they're keeping the same special feeling that you had in chapter 5 where everybody was together. And I like that. Except if your name is Soldier 11, then I'm sorry. But besides her, I think literally everybody was all together. Section 6, Bellabog, Sons of Calydon. It was like another reunion once again. And it's kind of fitting, of course, for the new year, and especially after bringing down Bringer in chapter 5. But once again, I just really feel like my expectations were so low in terms of what we were going to end up doing that this just shocked me, And it does seem like there's a lot of conflict. There's a whole situation going on here. It's not just some, like I said, day in a life, or Astra Yao does this or she does that. It seems like there's something special going on here. So I just did not expect it for a 1.5 patch, especially when the team is going on their vacation and stuff like that. So they actually cooked. We even have dudes in suits. Like, we've always had dudes in suits, but I mean, like, these guys are literally in like dress suits. Like, it's just guys we're fighting. It's not even like guys in these crazy uniforms or these big suits, just literally a dress up suit. I don't want to say too much yet. I just want to kind of get into the story and see what's going on before I say too much. But one thing I do want to point out is this animation with the rope going over her heel for Evelyn. Look at that. Like, bro, what in the world? Like, holy attention to detail. It's going around her freaking heel. And just to be clear, it is a special episode. So like Yanagi's or like Jane Doe's, it'll be like that. Short, sweet, comprehensible, and digestible. Very just, short and to the point. But we'll see for sure though, because that trailer was pretty lengthy. It's a pretty lengthy trailer, and it wasn't even like somebody else's content. It was all the special episodes. So we'll see. I'm a bit disappointed they didn't give us the dates like they did with Miyabi as a reactor. It's really, really appreciated when they do that. They did not do it here, but we do have a teaser, demo, and EP. No animated short, but it kind of looks like it might be one mixed into the EP. We'll see. And of course, Evelyn will be the next half of the patch. Getting into the actual gameplay of Astra Yao and Evelyn. Starting with Astra Yao, it's as pretty simple as I thought it was going to be. The singing is actually not going to be an actual voice within the song, so that may help in terms of, the old classic Robin from HSR situation. It seems to be just a beat that plays, or like, just a musical tune in the background, but her animations look great. She's a little bit what I expected in terms of somebody who wouldn't have that good of a combat prowess. Somebody that would just basically do something in the background as the other characters do their combat. And that's exactly what it looks like here. She has a very special, like, floaty dodge, and it definitely matches with the whole ether element as well. Everything's all purple and shiny. But she revolves mostly around quick assist, of course, with the set that's going to be designed for her. It's going to work really well. And besides that, I'm thinking with what they've explained, you're going to want to go attack, 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 maybe energy recharge, but it looks like her energy recharge is not as brutal to build up. So maybe you don't need energy recharge, but I would definitely just keep every single attack piece that you have for the Astral voice set. So Astra does a lot for your team. Her ultimate, talking about that real quick, she actually uses the song to heal the squad. I guess that's just how it works in New Era. She'll sing and she'll actually restore HP to the entire squad. It's not the most HP in the world, but it is the actual first ever character healer. You know, of course we have Avocado Boo and a couple other Bang Boos that actually heal you, but she's our first agent to actually heal you. So, and she'll actually be invulnerable when she casts that skill, so that's going to be nice. She'll just kind of be standing on the side. As you saw in the live stream, she's just kind of standing there, kind of almost invisible or like transparent in a way. But basically, when Astra is in what's called the idyllic cadenza state, she is just doing everything. She's giving the entire squad 20% more damage, so you just have a 20% damage increase for all damage that you do. You also have a 30% increase in crit damage. So whether you're an Anomaly character and you like the damage bonus, or you're an attack character and you like crit rate, crit damage, you're going to have a nice supportive little buff from her. And you also will have the next 2 quick assists from other characters turn into chain attacks, which is a very interesting change. And I guess it just goes hand in hand once again with the Astral Voice set. And if that wasn't enough, she also has these instances of off-field damage. So you can see on screen right now, Miyabi's attacking the enemy, and there's these ether thunder strikes coming down from the sky. That's also part of her kit as well. So part of her base kit, I believe, once again, that's when she's in the idyllic cadenza state as well. So just look at that state, try and be in it as much as possible, because that's going to benefit you tremendously. If you're going for a W engine, you should know this. The base attack is a high 713, and her substat for it is 30%. 30% on the substat for W engine. The passive essentially is when anyone does a quick assist, chain attack, defensive assist, or evasive assist, so any one of those, the equipter, Astra Yao in this case, will get 5 energy. That can happen every 5 seconds. Once she actually uses or consumes 25 or more energy, the entire squad's damage gets increased by 10%, and it stacks 2 times. So 20% damage increase for 15 seconds. So it kind of balances out between energy and attack, which is nice, but you should know that about her W engine if you're going for it. If not, slap that Lucy W engine on her, kaboom the cannon, that'll work just fine. Now, if you had Rena's W engine, the pen ratio is a bit questionable on Astra Yao, and the passive sounds nice, but we don't exactly know if the timing will line up exactly. So I'll say this is just one to try if you have it, but I'll just mention it, but I'm not too sure it's going to be promising. Now, lastly, any one of you guys who have the mindset of, I don't want Astra Yao, I'm skipping Astra Yao, I don't have enough polyclones for Astra Yao, I just want to give you guys some leeway. I reckon Nicole will still get the job done, as she's been doing for a good amount of time now. 40% defense shred is just great, and you get that proc very quickly, and a lot of times over and over again, especially in like GUN teams or Haramasa teams. So if you do, once again, have that mindset of you're in a situation where you're probably not going to be able to get Astra Yao or don't want Astra Yao, trust me, you'll be fine. The support's going to be icing on the cake. She's just going to be somebody who will be worthwhile, but not somebody who you will end up being bricked without. Then we have Evelyn. Evelyn's animations are phenomenal. I was like, yo, this actually had more attention on Evelyn than I did Astra Yao. And the jacket, let me tell you, the jacket I had such a dilemma with, because I was like, are they going to keep it on? Is she going to have it off? Like, how is it going to work? And they hit the perfect balance. When you pop your ultimate, she just whips the jacket off, but before the ultimate, she has it on. So you kind of have 2 birds, 1 stone, where you essentially have like 2 different sort of, I don't want to say outfits, but you have the jacket before the ultimate, and then after you have it off. So it's a cool balance. But when it comes to Evelyn, the special thing about Evelyn is that she can do chain attacks outside of stun. So you know how you build up the actual like daze meter on an enemy and you get the slow motion chain attack? Yeah, she can do a chain attack without stunning the enemy. So that's pretty cool. She'll focus mostly on that, doing ultimate damage and chain attack damage. You can see on screen here, they're highlighting the actual meter in the top left hand corner. You want to fill that up. Like, you want to always make sure that you fill that bar up if you're going to be able to actually pull off those out of stun chain attacks. What's cool as well is she can hook an enemy and she doesn't actually need any energy to do that. So hooking the enemy doesn't really cost her any energy. It seems very complicated, but essentially your goal is to rope an enemy and basically just have that bar filled. And Evelyn will get stronger and stronger. That animation's nuts, the sideways animation. Oh, anywho, she wants to have an enemy roped, and then that bar will keep on filling up and up and up, and she'll actually get stronger as the fight continues. So she's a pretty different character in terms of how she works. I think she'll just do something that's a little bit different but strong in her own way. Evelyn's additional ability is you need to have a support character or a stunner. Yes, stunner. So ironically enough, having her chain attacks happen outside of stun is awesome, but yet her additional ability wants a stunner too. So pretty interesting, but that is her additional ability. So you'll be playing her with people like Shiyu, Ambi, Lighter, your boy Lighter, finally getting some stonks, you know, or Lucy, or hey, Astra Yao. Now I have to talk about this. Here's kind of the elephant in the room for Evelyn and her builds. Her core passive, right? Her core passive, when she enters her ultimate, her crit rate goes up by 25%. Not to mention this character also ascends with crit rate as well, and her own signature W engine is crit rate also. And if you're not pulling that, the free one that we got, the Marcato Desires from the Miyabi event, that one's also crit rate. Let me explain. Every agent by default starts with 5 crit rate. Everyone has 5 crit rate to start with. In Evelyn's case, she ascends with crit rate. So she has an extra 14.4 once you level her up all the way. So she has 19.4. All right. If you level up her core to F, so you go through A, B, C, D, E, F, she'll have 25 crit rate when she enters her burst state, her ultimate. So before we put a single ounce of equipment on Evelyn, we're already at 44.4 crit rate. No W engine, no disk drives. You're already at 44%. So that goes to show, you know, some issues you might run into here. Let's say we add Marcato Desires, the free W engine from the Miyabi event. Once again, that's 20%. So now we're at 64. Still no disk drives. This is W engine and then just Evelyn. So now if we add, let's say, Inferno Metal, which when an enemy burns, you get 28% crit rate. That's 92.4. So you see what I'm saying, right? It's a bit of a crit rate conundrum going on here. Let's say you pull her W engine, which by the way is 24% crit rate. You'll be even higher. So you really got to watch your crit rate rolls, and you definitely want to pick a crit damage main stat for slot 4. Because yeah, you're definitely going to be overcapping for sure. But going back to without a actual disk drive set, that's 4-piece Inferno Metal. Without that set, there's not going to be too much crit rate you'll be getting unless you're running like, you know, Woodpecker Electro. But the thing is, she also wants to be at 80% to get extra bonus damage. It's part of her additional ability. She wants to be higher than 80%, and she'll actually have this like combo skill and finishing skill increased based off like 125% of the original damage. So you want to be over 80%. You want a lot of crit rate. You do. So she definitely helps herself out. So for example, here's my future Evelyn build. I already have it like set up, but I didn't account for all the crit rate stuff that I didn't know about prior. So I was on 4-piece Inferno, and I got some like decent rolls, some not, some okay. But you can see with me, I'm using Marcato Desire, so I'm gonna have a bit of an issue with her crit rate because this is without the Ascension passive. So this 53.8 is actually gonna be like a 67.4 for her Ascension with a crit rate, right? Then you have to add the 25 on top of that from her core passive. So that's gonna be 92.4. Then we still have to add the 28% from when an enemy is burning. So that's like, what, 120 crit rate? So Yeah, worst case scenario, I guess I can just... Oh, I thought this was on crit rate. Oh, see, you see the issue? Yeah, you know, it's not gonna be much of an issue. It's more of a suffering from success type of deal. But, so just be aware of Inferno metal. It's a little questionable. It's just too much crit rate. So maybe go 4-piece hormone punk, or just go like 2-piece, 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 3 different times. Maybe you can use like branch and blade, just the 2-piece for the 16% crit damage. Maybe you can do, you know, the fire set, but just the 2-piece. Maybe you can do a 2-piece of this for the attack. She just doesn't really have a dedicated set. She really doesn't. She really doesn't. And you could say a 4-piece woodpecker electro, but yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really give like a clear cut build for her in terms of disk drives, because the whole crit rate conundrum just makes what you'd assume would work a little too well. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Miyabi's set with a 2-piece for like the crit damage, something like that. It's rough. Evelyn's W engine, man, 713 base attack, 24% crit rate. The passive, 50% crit damage, just a full-on 50, much like Miyabi's. And the passive is when you enter the battlefield or do a chain attack or ultimate, you'll get 1 stack, and that stack will basically allow your chain attack and your ultimate to ignore 12.5% of the target you're fighting's fire res to be down. And it stacks twice. And for 30 seconds as well. Like, oh my goodness. Essentially, you will always have 25 fire res down just the whole time you're playing this character, or at least have this W engine. So it's pretty freaking good. But at the same time, I'm just going to use the free W engine we just got, Marcato Desires. I'm just going to use that at S5. So I'm chilling with that one. Version 1.5 also marks the very first time we're getting reruns. The reruns are Alan Joe first phase and Qingyi on the second phase. I do want to point out, we all make mistakes, it's all fine, but they did put phase 1 for Qingyi as well. So somebody messed up there. That's supposed to be phase 2 for Qingyi, because otherwise that means it's going to be Astra Yao as the new character, and then Ellen Joe and Qingyi phase 1. Unless they didn't make a mistake and that's what it's supposed to be, I don't know. But yeah, our very first reruns, Ellen Joe makes sense because she was the very first character, but also she has a lot of content this patch. We're actually getting her story mission, her agent story, which I'm actually excited about because she didn't actually get one from before. So that's cool. And there's also something else she's going to be getting too, we'll talk about shortly. And then Qingyi looks like she'll be good for accompanying, you know, either Evelyn or just have the center in general, you know, no GUN, so 07. And here's little Ellen Joe story, which I love the art they do for this, but yeah, very happy to be getting that. We can also cycle through wallpapers now. So instead of just having like one that you always see, there'll be this system where it'll shuffle through at least 5 different characters, which is a nice little touch. But now the big news, we are getting skins so fast, man. New outfits so quick. And this one, I'll say, I always wondered, because I saw Ellen Joe walking around in this fit, and I'm just like, you know, it'd be really easy to just kind of have that be a skin. Now, I think it's an L that it's paid. I think it should have totally been free. At least in my opinion, this should have been free. I mean, it's already there in the game, you know? And you know, on PC, modders are already, you know, I mean, that's a whole different story. But anywho, this should have been free, for sure. Like, it's not so special, it needs to be like a paid skin. But it is what it is. She is an S rank character, so I guess they had to. But yeah, I like the blue at the bottom of her shoes when she's running around in the overworld. And I think the overworld being able to like run with every character is such a good touch now, because since we're getting the skins, it was just perfect timing. They made it so we can walk around as anybody and everybody, so it's just like nice. Like now we can really see the skin, not just flying around in combat, but also, you know, walking around. I like Nicole's as well. It is a little bit abstract and a little silly looking, but knowing Nicole, I guess it really does fit after all. you know? So it looks a little funny, but it is free, and you know, you can't really complain there. So I'll definitely be rocking that one. And it's just very, once again, it's such good timing to be able to walk around with everybody, because now you can really appreciate and really like see the skin, you know? You'll see it in combat too, but you know, you can see it in a more clear space. So big W, we got skins 1.5. That was so quick, man. I was like, dang, wow. Then we have the events, and there's a bunch of them, as there usually are, but one thing I want to talk about with Zenless is they keep doing the unexpected, where they just add a whole nother game into their game. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Hyoverse definitely just rips game modes from other games a lot of times as mini games. And for this one, I'm not even sure what this is trying to be right here, but it's some kind of like dance off, like rhythm dance off kind of thing going. I wasn't too clear on the definition on this one, but this one also I think is a part of the Fall Guys one as well, where you can customize your Bang Boos and you can actually like play levels. I think it's in multiplayer as well. You play levels where the stage is collapsing and you have to keep up, and there's obstacle courses, stuff like that. So like, there you go. It's like literally Fall Guys within the game. And to think that that wasn't there to begin with, it's just cool. Like, they've added a whole Bang Boo 3D like Mario Land gameplay. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Like, this was not there. This wasn't there. They just went and like programmed this real quick, like, hey, let's add a little fish into this. Like, they put a whole fishing animation and all this in there. Like, you just don't, you can never expect what they're gonna do, you know? I remember back a couple patches ago, we were freaking driving with Caesar. You know, you never know what they're gonna end up putting in a patch. There could be like a Star Wars battle next patch, Starlight Nights patch. You just never know. A lot of mini game stuff as well. There's multiplayer with these, where there's like the actual brigade mode you can play. You can play with somebody else. There's also going to be a brand new one, which is like Subway Surfers in a way. You know, like you can say that too. That's like probably one of my favorite kind of games. Not Subway Surfers exactly, but just the fast-paced ones where you gotta really keep track and pay attention. I do enjoy playing the snake game and things like that. So it'll be one of those things where it's a side thing. It's not really mandatory. For this patch, it is an event, but hey, I'll take it. Now the tower mode, I wasn't exactly clear on if the tower mode, I don't know if it was being added to the current one or if it's just a brand new one. It appears to be a brand new one. It's like it reset because he's on floor 1 and there's new rules now where like if you get to a floor that's 10 levels above where you just were, and let's say you die, you go back 10 levels. You don't go all the way back to level 25. But in that sentence, that would indicate that it's the same one as before. So I think the event is a different tower, but they're saying they were adding adjustments to the current simulated battle tower from before. So I think that's always a good cop-out, is to just kind of add stuff to the simulated battle tower whenever you have a patch that's not like too exciting. That's what I would like have my pillow be. My backbone there would just be, all right, we're gonna take it easy on this patch. Let's add some endless tower battle content. But yeah, there'll be a new one. You can get more rewards for it. You can go through some more floors. I think it's like you get rewards for each one now. But I think it's different from the actual original one, or they just added to it. Picture event, which I'm not gonna lie, in Triple Z, a picture event might be a little sus. We'll see what pictures they want us to take, but yeah, they always have something like this eventually. There's always the picture event. This one's interesting. It's like some kind of solo battle you can do, and it's in Hollow Zero. So you actually have the extra abilities from the special Hollow Zero like boost you get. Like Billy has his extra animations, Yaniki has her like, Yaniki has the best ones, IMO. All their extra animations you can use here, and you just use the one character. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Don't even ask me what the rest of the events were. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. There's like a 2024 type of thing, or 24, whatever that game was called. Some papers, please. It just, yeah, just some events to kind of fill out the patch, I guess. I love how every time they show Z, the producer, it's always some kind of like extra gift. It's just like, let's sit down with him for a second in his giant office full of bang boos, and he'll just talk to us about what we're getting this time. Last time it was Haramasa, and this time we're actually going to be getting another 10 pull. So we're getting an odd 480 for some reason. It's like a 480. I'll take it, you know, don't get me wrong, but 480 polychromes, and then we're going to get the Boopons like usual. Then we're going to get the 10 wishes like usual, but then for the new year is giving us another 10 pull as well. So 23 pulls in total for the actual like tapes, and then of course the 10 Boopons. They also rearranged the badges for towers, so now you can get to level 100, you get a different tag. Added a whole bunch more to the special training program thing. So, you know, guide makers. No, I'm joking. But yeah, there's more stuff to that as well from before. They had the mode where you can see what you need, how much you need, what's recommended, things like that. The redo renovation thing. My favorite thing was the bosses. The bosses and the disk drives. The disk drives, I had to question myself, like, was that not already there for a second? But yeah, it's not. Those disk drives are not on the screen like that. Though they will be, obviously, next patch, but currently it's not like that now. So I was like, oh, that's nice. That's convenient. Didn't even really notice it, but that is a nice change. Then they also added, like, you know, you can level up things faster with one button now. But the boss thing I was talking about was they got rid of the elite mobs before the boss starts. And I didn't even notice that with Bringer, it is just Bringer. There's no other person to fight. But usually you have to fight like some Thanatos or something before this fight, and now it's just the boss battle, which is definitely a good change. Just make it faster, you know? But that's it for the most part. Stay tuned for the concert. Stay tuned for Astra Yao's Twitter, or X, sorry. I'm excited for it. I will be trying to go for both. I'm glad that it's back to one character for each banner. I have no intention for the reruns or any W engines. I think I'm all good on that. It is tempting for W engines in terms of like Ching-E's. I would kind of want to get that one, but not really. So that's why I'm excited about 1.5. We'll be chilling on that patch. Nothing too crazy, but I think I will have a good time playing it. It will be another enjoyable one. But yeah, for the most part, it'll be very loaded on the front side, and then you'll have Evelyn on the second side to kind of keep things cooking. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about it below. Said below twice. And that'll be it for me. Let me know how your builds are going, how your Astra's going. Are you going to be going for Astra? Are you going to be saving? Stay tuned for drip marketing in a couple weeks. And have fun in Amorpheus next week. I will catch you guys in the next one.